Okay, so hi, I just wanted to check in because I got a couple of emails about how to approach this first essay assignment. I think Professor Good's video is fine. Like it's if you want to use that as a model and if that works for you, fantastic. If not, I'm just going to walk you through some things really quickly. It should take about 5 minutes. So the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen. Um, okay. Make that go away, bring up. Okay, so I'll post this for you so that you have it. This is just, so if you are a one-on-one student, you are not required to hand me in an outline. If you are an 098 student, you are required to hand in an outline as well. So I just kind of walk through the outline that Professor Good gave. So if you look under modules, under, first essay, introduction to the first essay, yada, 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 right before the video, he, gives you what it's about, a 5-paragraph, 2 to 3 page essay on the obstacles you have faced in terms of your, career and your life path, all that good stuff. And then right below that, starting here, he gives you a brief outline or a way to approach this in terms of outlining it. So the outline tells you what should be in each paragraph. So paragraph 1 should begin with an attention-getting sentence. In this case, a quote from the article. So the article that you can quote from would be either the articles that we read so far. Both of those articles are, of course, about how people have, persevered in the face of difficulties in terms of getting their education. It can be a couple of sentences. Use the quote, make sure you begin and it's in quotation marks. Make sure when you come out that it's cited and you have, the author's last name in parentheses. The very next thing you're going to do is your thesis statement. Your thesis statement is the main argument for your entire essay. It generally ends the introduction. This first paragraph we would call the introduction. So the last sentence is a sentence I should see in the introduction. It doesn't explain anything. You're literally following this model. That's all you're doing. And so although I have faced obstacles and challenges to pursuing my education, I'm determined to succeed as, for example, a nurse because I want to help people and make the world a better place. So I'm generally just filling in, the blanks here. So succeed as a nurse because I want to help people and make the world a better place. That takes care of my introduction. My second paragraph, I'm just pulling down. So from my thesis, so I'm writing only about the challenges and obstacles I face, right? So whatever those challenges and obstacles are, be it family, be it friends, be it just life circumstances, a string of bad luck, whatever the case may be. But I'm pulling down from that first blank in the thesis. The third paragraph, I'm going to write about the reason I'm determined to succeed, right? So if I want to be a nurse because I want to help people, then that's going to be my third paragraph. I want to be a nurse because I want to help people, and then you're going to tell me what that means to you. My fourth paragraph, I'm just again pulling from that thesis statement, and I want to make the world a better place, whatever that means to you. And then the fifth paragraph is just kind of when you wrap it up. And so the fifth paragraph is kind of a mirror. We call that the conclusion, and a conclusion is often a mirror of the introduction. And so it restates in a different way. You're not saying the same exact thing, but you're repeating the same ideas as the introduction. So here, Professor Good gives you a model to follow. So challenges such as whatever your challenges were, whatever you talked about, have hindered my path to college, but because of my desire to help people and make the world a better place, I'm determined to succeed. So you're generally just following this model. So what I did really quickly, also remember to include your works cited, because if you pull a quote from for your introduction, for your attention grabber, and then the conclusion, it also says that you should pull a quote from one of those articles. You should have a works cited page at the end of this. And so the works cited page, you've already done that, particularly if you've done it for the Hardiman article, right? You're just copying and pasting that and putting it with this essay. And that takes care of that. So what I have here is a sample outline. Um, and so my attention grabber, again, you can use a quote for any of the essays we've read so far in class. It can be one sentence, it can be a couple of sentences. Just remember to make sure that quote's in quotation marks, and then make sure you cite it, you know, when you're done with the quote by having the author's last name in parentheses. And then I filled in the thesis statement so you can see an example. Although I have faced obstacles and challenges to pursuing my education, I'm determined to succeed as a nurse because I want to help people and better the world. Fine. Fine, that's it. And so now I'm pulling it down. So here's my thesis, my second paragraph, right? And I'm just going in order of what's listed. So challenges and obstacles. A topic sentence is the very first sentence of the paragraph usually, and it's the paragraph, it's a sentence that is the main idea of the paragraph. So here's my topic sentence. I have faced many obstacles that have gotten in the way of my education and desire to be a nurse, right? So I know now that this paragraph is all going to be about obstacles. A good way to do this is just to jot down a few ideas. In general, you only need three points to develop a paragraph, but you can just jot it down. So maybe I'm going to talk about children. You know, my children got in the way because I had them young and I had to, you know, stop school because of them. My family got in the way because they weren't as supportive. And then maybe I'm going to use a quote, but you only need three, right? You only need three of those things. But these are just some ideas that I jotted down. And then when I go back and begin writing, I can pick the three that I think would be the easiest to write about. The other thing is that if you're a high school student, it's okay to say, you know, my obstacle was, you know, getting to school on time, or my obstacle was, you know, concentrating, whatever. Just start where you are. It doesn't have to be like these like life-changing things if nothing life-changing has happened to you so far. And then you're going to repeat those steps, right? So paragraph 3 is my next topic sentence, right? And now I'm moving on to, you know, because I want to help people. So I'm determined to succeed as a nurse because I want to help people. And now I have some ideas. I want to comfort those in pain, serve vulnerable communities, help families get through difficult times. This is just me brainstorming about why I want to do this thing. And then, and I can always use a quote as well. So I'm just kind of coming up with ideas. Paragraph 4. So once you get it, like how you outline is always topic sentence that kind of refers back to your thesis. And then you kind of brainstorm like how you would support it. So finally, as a nurse, I know I'm making the world a better place. And so maybe I want to talk about preventable disease. I'm helping people get access to healthcare, educating my community, whatever whatever it may be. And then I can always use a quote. But remember, and this is really important, you only need 2 to 3 supporting details in your body paragraphs. A general rule of thumb is that a body paragraph should be about 6 to 8 sentences. If you're writing like 12 sentences and it looks long, you're really pushing it, right? So 6 to 8, maybe, maybe 6 to 10 should get you where you need to be. And then you get to your conclusion. And your conclusion, again, it mirrors the introduction. So just as your introduction has your thesis statement and some kind of attention grabber, your conclusion does the same thing. So it restates your thesis statement in a different way. So here's when I filled it in. Challenges such as family and children have hindered my path to college, but because of my desire to help others and make the world a better place, I am determined to succeed. So I just used my thesis statement to kind of fill in that model that Professor Good gave. And then you can always end with another quote from either one of the articles. And that's it in a nutshell. Sit down with this and think about it a bit. If you have any questions or concerns, you can always email me. And again, the articles that you should be using are the articles that we've read so far. So I hope this is helpful. I'm going to stop my share now. I'm going to end the meeting. Again, any questions or concerns, just email.